You can now make a donation via text to Radio Brockley. All you have to do is type RNOH 45 and a space and the amount you would like to donate in pounds to 770. All texts cost your standard network rate plus the amount you have donated. Don't forget to ask the bill payer before you send the text.
Hello and welcome to Brockley News, Radio Brockley's weekly show, keeping you up to date with all you need to know about what's happening in and around the hospital. I'm Alan Joyce, and coming up today in a packed programme, we'll be hearing from the makers of the Poppies, which captured the hearts and minds of everyone who went to see them at the Tower of London last month. We'll also be hearing from the hospital's Chaplin Wendy Brooker about tomorrow's Christmas Carol service taking place in the hospital. And we'll hear from one of tonight's contenders for Sports Personality of the Year, Max Whitlock, who visited the hospital earlier on this week. Then at 8:30, your chance to win some Radio Brockley goodies without leaving your bed on Bedside Bingo with David Rauch. And at 9 o'clock this evening, it's all your choice of tunes on the Sunday Request Show with Keith Reeve. So stay tuned to London's longest running hospital radio station, Radio Brockley. Well, first tonight, I'm sure you remember all the talk of the massive poppy display at the Tower of London last month to commemorate 100 years since the start of the First World War. But who helped plant them all? Our reporter Ron Laver managed to speak to three of the ladies who did just that.
Right, I've got in the studio with me now three young ladies, Mary Lawton, Brenda Mace and Cynthia Rao, and they all went to the Tower of London and were involved in putting out all those thousands of poppies. Ladies, can you first of all tell me how you got involved with that?
Yes, actually we saw it on the television first of all, really, and then we applied online. We did apply for a party of us to go from theatres, but at the end of the day there was only three of us that could actually make it, so we went up on the day. We had to book it.
So they were actually, I didn't realise this, they were actually appealing for people to go and do it?
Yes.
Yeah, they were looking for volunteers.
Right.
All the poppies were planted by volunteers. So specific slot throughout the 3 months period. So a morning and an afternoon. It was one of those things that was just, I think people just wanted to join in.
Yeah. Well, it certainly captured the imagination of the nation, didn't it? So, was that it? You just applied? Did you have to be picked at all? Was there a short list?
No. They just sent back an email. Mary very kindly sent it off, and they sent back an email and said that we put through some dates, and the first date we put down, they accepted, and we just went up there, the three of us, and then when we got there, we had to watch a video on how it was all assembled, which was quite amusing. And then we all had to put volunteer T-shirts on and then go outside.
Which was red, like the poppies.
It was red like the poppies. There was a great big volunteer on the back. It was quite nice.
What made you all decide you wanted to do this? Brenda, for instance, why particularly did you think you'd like to do it?
I just thought it was a really nice thing to do, to commemorate all those people that lost their lives, and I just wanted to go back and sort of say thank you. But at the same time, they told us that it was quite a sombre affair, but go out and enjoy yourselves, and I think we certainly did.
We did, yes.
We had a lovely time.
Yeah.
Mary, I think you had a particular reason perhaps for wanting to do it.
Yeah, it's my grandfather. He was in the First World War, and he actually died on the Somme, so it's very poignant for me to go up there. I just wanted to pay my respects. Actually, it wasn't until about 10 years ago we found where he was buried through the War Graves Commission. So, yeah, but it was just a gesture, really.
Yeah. That's really nice. And what about you, Cynthia?
I don't have any connection with the First World War at all. But
Far too young.
My grandfather was in the Second World War, so for me, the connection with the actual appeal, which was in commemoration of the First World War, I just thought it was a nice way of paying respect and also spending time with colleagues that you don't really necessarily see outside work. And also, I enjoy volunteering. I've done it in the past, not necessarily at this level, but it's just something that you like to be able to give back to communities and in memory. Yeah.
So what was involved on the day you went up there? What happened exactly?
Well, we went into the room. It was all very well organised, actually, and they took all our names, and we had to watch this video. We had to actually assemble them, but they did say afterwards, actually ignore that, because then we do a different assembly, didn't they?
No, it was all changed.
It was all changed. But then we went out into the moat, and they give you a specific number of poppies to plant in that day. You can't go beyond your quota, because the next volunteers need some to do it. I think we planted
6,000.
6,000. Not
between three of us.
How many of us were there all together in your group?
I think our group was around 50 to 70, something like that. And we made a few friends in the little group we were in. And you had different sized stakes.
Stems.
And you had to put on 4 washers. And believe you me, they were hard. So the people that have taken them down have had a very easy time. Our group did it in 2.5 hours. They were 4-hour slots, weren't they?
Yeah.
We did it from 9:30 to 11:30. And we went to get the next batch. And they went, no, they're for this afternoon's group. And we said, but can't we do them? And they said, no.
We met some very nice people up
so
there.
nice, lovely.
All nationalities as well. Come from Australia, New Zealand, all around the world.
Different ages. It was lovely. Everybody just mixed.
That's
and it was
fantastic.
fun.
Yeah. What were the poppies actually made of?
Ceramic.
They're actually the bulb itself, if you like, was actually ceramic, was it?
That was also part of the video. They actually showed you how the poppies were actually made. I think it's somewhere
It's up north.
up north.
Yeah.
So they had again volunteers, most of them who did pottery. And each one was actually handmade. So they did have cutters, but when they actually assembled them, it was all handmade. So there's not a single one that was
individual,
the same. And that was good to see that, these people were also putting in a lot of hard work, creating these lovely, and they're much bigger than you actually think. They're probably the size of a hand, when they're full out, rather than really tiny, which is what you think when you see them. And we were all scared that we were going to break them, but actually they were quite hardy
Very
themselves.
robust, I would say. Very robust.
So when your group went out with your 6,000 poppies,
Yes.
you were given, presumably, plant them over in that area
We
there.
were told, and the part we were at, they said that, can we just say that during the war there was a tower here in the moat that was bombed, and it was decided that they would not rebuild it. So they said, when you put the poppies in, if you feel resistance, can you move it to either side, because you'll be hitting the bricks. And so when you look at the pictures of the poppies, you sometimes see sort of biggish gaps. It's probably where this tower used to be. We didn't know. It's a historic site. But it was quite interesting, all the little snippets people were telling you.
So that answers my next question. Within the area you were given, you just put them randomly in?
Yes, they said something
They
about
did ask you to try and make them sort of like waves and,
different heights.
rather than lines. They wanted it to look a bit fluid, and they wanted some gaps and things like that. But they also would come in if they felt that, can you fill up that bit, rather than leaving it alone. So they obviously, I think, had a overall idea of a vision of how they wanted it to eventually look like.
Every group had a supervisor, didn't they?
Yes,
Supervised.
It was just, for me, I just found it such fun. I really, really cannot tell you how much fun it was.
And it was a nice day as
And
well.
we had a lovely
It wasn't raining.
Well, the sun was out, so for us it was quite good, and fairly warm as well.
But it was very strange. You were doing the poppies, and then you turn around and look up, and along the railings were hundreds of people, and I did feel that I wanted to wave.
Bit royal.
Yeah. Or at some point you sort of like thinking, I feel like I'm, in the zoo and they're watching, so.
I did get one of the girls in theatres who's quite arty to RNOH on some sheets, and we had some photos done there, and the one of the beefeaters was there. And I went up and said, can I have a photo with you? And he said, do you work at the RNOH? And I went, yes. And I said, could I still have this photo? And he's apparently a patient from here.
Oh, right.
Was it Mr. Skinner?
Mr. Skinner.
So, yeah. He was like, oh, you know, so there's a few of you from RNOH. He says, oh, well, that's fabulous. You know?
It's very nice.
I don't know how he knew, actually. Do you?
Must have recognised me because
Yeah.
we're working here.
Got it stamped on our forehead.
You don't think it were the little signs that you have?
We didn't have them out.
We didn't have those signs by that point, but he obviously recognised Brenda.
I sit at the front on the
Front of
operating.
house.
I'm front of house in the operating theatre.
Oh, right. Did you recognise him?
No, I have too many patients.
Yeah,
I
that's
have
true.
to look at.
Yeah. Okay, so from what you were saying, then the poppies were different heights. They
There are
weren't all
about
one
three.
standard height.
Some you saw that are very, very tall. We seem to all work on the shorter ones, and they were intermediate.
Yeah.
And then you just put them in randomly, and we just stuck with our size. And I remember we were doing all these stakes, and then the supervisor came and said, I think you should go and plant poppies. And I said to these two, I'm not going to do the stakes anymore, I'm just planting poppies from now on in. And then about half an hour later we finished.
Yeah, because some people was making them, actually putting the washers on, and then some people was actually planting them. Then in between they changed.
It was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, what a fabulous experience. How early on in the or whereabouts in the process were you?
It was the 16th of August at 9:30 a.m. precisely.
Very good, Ben.
Roughly would have done.
Yeah.
I'm
so
very,
precise.
I'm very precise.
I think they'd done sort of like from the very front entrance of where the tower is, and they'd gone through the corner, and we were halfway through that
next
second side. So they'd sort of like done around half the tower so far at that point.
But it was by the station entrance, wasn't it?
Yeah,
by the
she
station.
came
We
out
did.
the station.
Yeah.
So because everybody, I know, I went and had a look, and you come out the station, and you're right on that side.
That's the side we worked
Yeah.
on. You must
Yeah.
have seen our poppies.
I must have done. They look. I thought they looked particularly good. In that.
They look further at the back.
Very artistic.
Craftsmanship.
So did any of you go back up and have a look sort of towards the end and see them all?
No,
We wanted
unfortunately,
to.
but we didn't.
Yeah.
We didn't get there.
I think for me, I'd had the poignant moment because at the end of it, we were allowed to stay as long as we wanted, just going through the whole rest of the installation, just looking at things, talking to more people, listening to their experiences, and also, you know, like with Mary, having a connection to the First World War. And I think that was quite nice. It was just like nice to be able to sort of like in your own piece, actually within the poppy itself, rather than quite far away.
Yeah.
For me, it was just I'd felt I'd had my moment there, and I don't think anything else really would have actually come as close to that in terms of a connection with the past and you know, and a hope for the future. So
And I did take a photograph of my grandfather. I photocopied it, and I've got a few pictures. And the photograph is laying on the poppies.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, that was quite nice.
Yeah.
And someone did come up to me and said, "Oh, that's a very nice gesture to do." And I thought, "Oh God."
I know when I went to see them, that there were no people installing them, but there seemed to be, I guess, special guests that were allowed to wander around and have a look. And I felt very jealous of those people.
I have to say, I did feel that was very special, because we said, have we finished? And they said yes, and we said, are we allowed to have a look? And they went, please feel free to walk through. And it was, you did feel that you were among them.
Ministry of
There was a Minister of Tourism.
and she was looking around it, and they was taking pictures of that. So it went worldwide though. I mean, everyone was focused on it, wasn't it?
Yeah, I put pictures on Facebook, and I've got relatives and friends around the world, and they were all really interested and very impressed. So
We bought them. I bought a poppy, and so's Mary.
You have?
Yeah.
We're waiting for them to arrive. I've got
Did
it
you
marked.
get a chance to do that as part of what you did, or did you just have
We
to
did that
apply
before,
like everyone else did?
We did it before.
We did it before. Before we volunteered it, we went online and bought one. But we didn't realise they was the ones we was planting. We were going to get special ones. I think they wash them and pack them up. And I think one person I know has already got theirs from here that it's come. I haven't seen it yet.
Well, that's a fantastic keepsake to have, isn't it, from it?
Yeah.
And what a fabulous experience as well.
It was good.
It was
Yeah.
a great day, and I think we all had so much fun together.
Yeah.
It was fun. And I know it was supposed to be very serious to start with, but it was fun.
It was fun, yeah.
That's good. I should have at the beginning to ask where you all work. I mean, you did mention
Operating theatres.
Operating theatre stores.
Yeah, operating theatres. If the whole group had gone, we would have all been from operating theatres. Yeah.
But we're all more admin. We're admin if we collectively.
Yeah.
But some of the nurses were going to go and they
We're
couldn't
very
make
skilled though, putting in the poppies.
Absolutely.
it. You saw ours. You could pick them out from a mile away.
Absolutely. Skills you never knew you had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I told quite a lot of friends, and actually some close friends of mine did finally get an afternoon to actually do. It was one of the last afternoons to plant the poppies because of what I had said, and so many other people have signed up to try and get online, but I think by that point it just becomes such a big thing and taken off that they were just overwhelmed with volunteers. So
whoever thought of the idea was spot on.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the whole thing was very well done.
I don't know what they'll do for 2018. That's right. I don't know whether they should have done the poppies in 2018 as opposed to at the beginning. I really don't know. But if they did it again, I don't think anyone would complain.
Well, no, that's true.
But they were stunning.
Yeah, and if they advertised it in advance, it would increase the tourism to the country.
Absolutely.
Plan their holidays to.
I mean that's one of the reasons why we didn't get a chance to go back, because of the crowds.
Because of the tourists.
And the tourists up there, and they closed the station after the day we were going to go back to see the whole thing. And we couldn't get there.
Well, when I went up there, it was very credible. We managed to go on a part of the school holiday, and didn't need to, but we did, and it was really crowded. But I found it was because people were just standing at the fence there. They were looking, spending a bit of time, taking photographs, and then they'd come. So you might be 3 or 4 deep, but it didn't take long. You worked your way. You had to go at the front and chance to look at that. So. Okay, well look, really great to hear your stories.
Thank you.
Fantastic opportunity for you. Thanks very much for coming in and sharing it with us.
Thank you very much.
That's our reporter Ron Laver speaking to the poppy planters. Next night, we hear from one of the biggest names in sport this year. He won 3 gold medals at this year's Commonwealth Games, silver at the World Championships, a gold and a silver at the European Championships, and he won 2 bronze medals at London 2012. And he's also up for Sports Personality of the Year tonight on the BBC. He's Max Whitlock, and he came into the RNOH on Wednesday this week to present the winners of the weight-off competition. Our reporter Graham Rich caught up with him to find out more.
Right, today I'm at the great RNOH weight-off, and it's been a very exciting competition, and we are interviewing a very special guest this evening. It's world-famous gymnast Max Whitlock. Good evening.
Hiya.
And I have a question. What is the special connection for you with the RNOH hospital?
I think it's a great hospital, and they do great things. And a friend of mine got treated here a while ago, and he's doing great now. And hopefully I can keep pushing the profile out for them and to raise more money in the aims that they want to achieve.
Well, in fact, we spoke to you because you were at the Buttercup Walk, and I believe you did some duties there as well.
Yeah, I attended a Buttercup Walk, and that was great fun. There, it's all about raising more money. They're trying to redevelop their main site, so and get some more facilities and equipment for them. So it's a great thing that they're doing, and like I said, if I can keep going to these events and helping them out anywhere I can, then I will do.
Okay, well, let's talk a bit about sport, because you are a multi-medal winner, gold, silver and bronze, both at the Commonwealth Games, European Championships, World Championships, and the Olympics, of course. So with all these good results coming in, all the medals, is it like a dream come true for you?
Yeah, I think it's been amazing, especially this year has been fantastic. I've hit quite a lot of the results and the targets that I wanted to do, and I'm very, very, very pleased, and it's definitely topped it off being nominated for Spotty this year. So I'm looking forward to going there this Sunday.
of all your sporting achievements and activities that you've taken part in, what for you personally is a highlight?
Well, I think overall, to get 2 Olympic medals in London 2012 was absolutely unreal for me. But this year, it's got to be my world silver medal. Coming second in the world was crazy, and especially standing next to my idol, which was Kohei Uchimura, a Japanese gymnast. So, standing next to him on the podium was pretty surreal.
Wow, that's awesome. That's fantastic. We were talking earlier about warming up and keeping fit. How much training do you have to do every week in order to keep up to the required standard?
Yeah, I train 6 days a week, and it's about 35 hours a week. So, it's like a full-time job for me, and it's great the support that I get that keeps me in the gym, keeps me where my focus needs to be, and but I love it, and I love training hard, and hopefully I can go to next year and hopefully get a few more results.
Do you ever take a break or holiday and leave everything behind for a few days?
Yeah, I have actually just recently got back from a holiday yesterday, actually. I think I needed a break from this year. It's been a tough year, and I'm raring to go, get back into it, and looking forward to next year.
Wow, you don't stop. You do more in 1 week than I do in a year.
Yeah, but it's a lot of hard work, and like I said, I love it. But when you go to these competitions, you get that buzz there, and if you get a result, it makes it all worthwhile. It really does.
Oh, that's great. That's really good. Well, today you attended the RNH Weight Off, and you gave out the awards to our various categories of the people who won today. Mm-hmm. Is there something special that you'd like to say to the winners?
I think just congratulations. I think it's a great thing that they've done. The weight off is a really great idea, and it's good fun, and obviously helps them keep more healthy as well, and obviously raising money for the great cause.
Do you have some specific goals for 2015?
Yeah, well, I think I've got to take it competition at a time, and at the start of the year, the first competition is in March, which is the English and the British Championships, so they're very important to me, and then hopefully they can be great ones to go into the European Championships. That's the first major championships, and then after that I got a bit of a break in the middle this time. This year was tough because in that break in the middle where you usually get was the Commonwealth Games. So next year there's only 2 majors, and the last one is the World Championships, which is actually held in Glasgow. So I'm looking forward to that one as well.
Wow.
Yeah, very busy.
So much activity. Personal question, how old are you?
I'm 21.
21?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Oh, so there's no hope for me. Okay, forget that. Okay, well, finally, you've been nominated for BBC Sports Personality of the Year. How does that feel?
It feels amazing. To be nominated on that list, especially with the other sports people that have been part of it and are part of it this year. It's pretty crazy, and it was a shock at first, but I'm looking forward to the night. Really am.
In your stomach, as a personal hunch, who do you think may win that award?
It's very tough to pick one person. I think all 10 of them, they've all got a good chance. And I think the three people, football, golf, and Formula One, I think they've got such a big backing. I think all 3 of them have got a great chance. So we'll see on the night, really.
Well, fingers crossed. Maybe you'll win it.
To be honest, I'm just happy to be in the top 10, and hopefully people can get behind me and support me as well. But it's great to be there in the first place.
Hope you win it. Well, got to say many thanks, Max, for talking with me today, and best of luck for all your aims and goals for the coming months and years.
Thank you very much, and thank you for having me on.
Well, he certainly deserves to win that award tonight, and you can still vote for him, in fact, for Sports Personality of the Year. The results come in just after 10 o'clock this evening.
Radio Brockley, officially London's #1 hospital radio station.
Well, finally this evening, tomorrow, it's the annual RNOH Carol service taking place here in the hospital, and it looks like being a very exciting one with a huge choir coming along to perform. The hospital's chaplain Wendy Brooker popped in earlier on this week to tell me more about it, but I started by asking her to explain a bit more about her role in the hospital.
Well, we've been here a while, and we are still visiting patients. Of course, that's most important. Patients first, always. And we will pray with them and pray for them and listen to them and do anything they particularly want us to do that's within reason of our role.
And when you say us, are there a team of chaplains in the hospital, or is it just yourself?
Well, yes, we are a small team. I have 2 Christian assistants, lay members of the local church. I have a lay Jewish member who will come into Jewish patients, and I have a lay Muslim gentleman who will come into Muslim male patients if he's required.
That's really interesting, actually. So if people wanted to contact any of these people, how do they go about doing that? Who do they speak to?
Well, they can always leave a message for me or ask a nurse to leave a message for me on my voicemail. Each ward has got a directory of religious contacts, but I'm not quite sure whether they'd be able to find it very quickly. Papers can get lost, but they should be able to contact someone. The numbers and how to contact them should be on that list. But if everything else fails, just leave me a message and I will sort it out.
And what days are you on site in the hospital? Are there people here every day?
No, I'm here Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. My 2 lay chaplains come in on a Thursday, and we hope to get round as many of the wards as we can on Thursday afternoon so that we know what any Christian patient might want on Sunday. And one of us will come in Sunday afternoon and either pray with a patient or give them Holy Communion or just let them chat if that's what they want on a Sunday afternoon.
So they can have communion at their bed then if they want to?
Yes. Well, most of our patients, being orthopaedic patients, it's not possible for them to get to our chapel, so we go to them. They don't have to worry about making any effort.
Now, you mentioned the chapel, so for presumably visitors and more mobile patients, that is open to anyone, is it?
Oh yes. It's what we call it the chapel here because it's always been known as the chapel, but really in this day and age it should be called a multi-faith centre, and it's for people of any faith or none. If they want a quiet space to be, that's where they go.
Okay, and where is the chapel situated?
It's in front of rehab on the left-hand side, conservatory in front. There is a very large porter cabin, and that's the chapel or multi-faith centre.
Okay, and when's the chapel open?
Well, I'm not here. I have to admit, I'm not here when it's opened, and I'm not here when it's closed. But certainly during daylight hours, and I think round about 7:30 in the morning, it's opened when security does its rounds, and it's closed up about 7ish in the evening. But if anyone wanted to use it, really needed to use it in between times, they just contact the gate and they have keys and they should open it if it's needed.
Are there any sort of set services that take place in the chapel during the course of the week?
Yes, the two protected times, that's what we call it. First of all, on a Thursday lunchtime, 12:30 to 1:30, all Christians of all denominations are invited to come to a Holy Communion service if they'd like to. And we have quite a few now, many and various members of staff who find they can come and join us, which is a joy. That's protected time. And then on a Friday, and I think it's lunchtime-ish, round about 1 o'clock, the Muslims have their Friday prayers in there, and that's protected time for them. But other than that, anyone is welcome when it's open.
That sounds fantastic. Now, we touched on other faiths briefly, and we're going to talk about, obviously, Christmas in a minute, but obviously this is also the time of year for Hanukkah as well, for our Jewish listeners. You mentioned that you have a Jewish contact that comes around the hospital as well. Are they going to be doing anything special for Hanukkah?
Well, it doesn't work like that with the Catholic priest, the Muslim visitor and the Jewish visitor. They will only come if we give them a referral. They're not just around the hospital in the same way that I am. So they're very happy to come and visit a patient if they ask for them, which could be any time. And we just leave message and they will come when they can.
Okay, brilliant. So let's talk a little bit about the carol service taking place tomorrow then. So firstly, when and where is it on?
When? Well, Monday, the 15th of December, in the Charles Lack Theatre at 6:30 p.m.
Brilliant. And who's taking part this year? Because I understand it's all rather exciting this year.
Oh, yes, it really is. One of my lay chaplains had the brilliant idea of suggesting a choir that rehearses in her church hall in Stanmore. And we now have coming the Daniel Sharp Academy of Theatre Arts Choir.
Wow.
Youngsters, about 30 youngsters who last year won the top prize for Watford Youth Choir of the Year. So we're very delighted, and one of our staff has been to hear them rehearse and has said they are absolutely super. So if you're listening and you want to come, make sure someone organises it for you. But if not, do tune in when this is broadcast, and you will hopefully hear a really happy evening.
Absolutely. I should just say, if you can't get along on the carol service tomorrow, then we are broadcasting it on Tuesday this week at 8 o'clock here on Radio Brockley. So whatever you do, do tune in for that. So can people just turn up on the day to this carol service?
Yes, and it's open to everyone. It's open to staff, it's open to their families, it's open to visitors, it's open to patients, and of course all of us will be there organising it and participating. Yes, if you can come, please do. And we've ordered a lot of refreshments, so if you can come and help us eat them up afterwards, we'd be grateful. And come and enjoy the mulled wine as well.
I will. I don't need to be asked twice about that. I can say the food is always brilliant there. How many of these have you done now, by the way? Do you know?
Oh, I think this is my 16th, but this one's going to be very exciting, I hope.
It does sound very, very special. So this choir, 30 of them, that's going to really fill the room, isn't it?
Yes, I imagine it will.
Yeah, brilliant. And are you holding any other special Christmas services or communion services over the festive period?
Well, I shall come in on Christmas morning if anyone wants anything. If there are any Christian patients in on Christmas morning, I always come in and will pray with them, give them Holy Communion before I take the rest of the day off. So don't be afraid to ask. If you see me on your ward, do ask. Let me take your name and I will make sure I will see you on Christmas morning.
Super. So just to recap, if anyone wants to get in contact with you or would like to have a visit, what's the best way of doing it again?
Well, ask a nurse to leave a message on my voicemail, or if you see me on a ward, call me over and I'll take the details and I'll make sure we get as comprehensive a list as possible.
Brilliant. Well, really looking forward to the carol service. Good luck with that, and thanks very much for coming back in.
Thank you.
So just a reminder then of the details for that. It's happening tomorrow, the carol service, 6:30 at the Sir Herbert Seddon Teaching Centre. Do come along if you possibly can, but if you can't, you'll hear it in full on Tuesday evening at 8 o'clock here on Radio Brockley. Don't forget you can catch Brockley News and Brockley News Extra by tuning in at midday, Monday to Friday, for another chance to hear some of our recent interviews. Plus tomorrow night, we've got a very special show at 8 o'clock when you'll get the chance to hear all the results from this year's RNOH Staff Awards. That's tomorrow night at 8 o'clock for Brockley News Extra for an hour here on Radio Brockley. Up next on Radio Brockley, it's Bedside Bingo, your chance to win some Radio Brockley goodies without leaving your bed. Apologies, it's a couple of minutes late today, but good luck if you're playing along. And then at 9 o'clock tonight, it's all your choice of tunes on the Sunday Request Show with Keith Reed. We're back at the same time next week when we'll be hearing more about the Staff Awards, plus we'll be previewing this year's annual request chart. From me, Alan Joyce. Goodbye.